Without going to school, I managed to get a graphic design job without getting any debt. And let me make it even better for you. In that same job, I met someone who went to school for graphic design for 7 years. And guess who was teaching him graphic design? You guessed right, that was me. I'm not saying this to brag and boast or to make myself feel better than anyone else, because that's not the intent behind my message. I'm trying to tell you that school is not the answer. The answer lies within you. I have actually looked up the statistics on graphic designers and the debt that they go into the moment that they finish their graphic design journey. If you go to a public university with an average cost of 40,000 to 80,000 euros or dollars, then your average student debt will be $25,000. Now, if you go to a private university, which is about a total cost of 100,000 to 180,000, you're gonna have a $35,000 to a $60,000 of debt. Now, if you go to art and design college, you would get about 120,000 to 250,000 total cost of 4 years, and a $60,000 or higher debt. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I haven't been the most careful and responsible with my life. When I met my current girlfriend, she looked into my debt and I was on 17,000. Obviously, it was because of me being immature and not knowing how to handle money back then. But if you listen to this, you're gonna go to school, you do everything the way that we were programmed to, and your debt is gonna be more than mine. You know that a logo is not a logo because you went into Illustrator with it. The logo becomes the logo because of all the questions you've asked your clients, all the research that you've done, all the sketching that you've done, the mood boarding. That is what eventually becomes the logo. Illustrator is just a car that gets you to the destination, but everything that's in the car to make it work, that's the whole process before that. Back in the days when I started out doing graphic design, I had to actually get a client brief and do it all myself. I had to make a fake client brief, I had to make a fake client, I had to make a fake business just for me to build up a portfolio, because I had no clients. I had to show people that I was capable of designing. That's what I thought back then, the way that graphic designers think, because they think a portfolio is going to get you clients. No, you know what a portfolio does? A portfolio gets you a job. So that brings me to the second part, and how you can make graphic design worth it for yourself. Because let's look at it this way. There is approximately 500,000 graphic designers employed at this very moment. And there's about 1.5 million in total graphic designers if you include freelancers. So that tells you that there's still a lot of people going into graphic design. But what's gonna set a graphic designer apart in this day of age, and it always did, it's just more prominent right now at this very moment, and that is your designs should not be tied to it being pretty. It should be tied to a result. A logo is not worth money if it's not tied to a result. So look at it like this. The best way to make a lot of money is communication. Now, what do we as graphic designers do? Think about that for a minute. And if you really want to challenge yourself, pause the video, type it in the comments, and then after you typed it in the comments and you pressed enter, then you play the video back. We as graphic designers, we do visual communication. We communicate through designs. What if you actually learned to not only communicate through your designs, but also with your mouth? With your mouth, you can actually sell your designs. Let me tell you a little story. My parents, they have a car mechanic business, which they've had for 15 years now. When I first started doing graphic design, I went to my parents and I said, oh, you need a new logo, because me as the amateur, I learned a couple of things and I looked at my parents' logo and I was like, oh, that's too busy. And you know, you can't use that on your social medias because when you scale it down, you won't even see what's happening anymore and blah, 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 blah. I had a lot of things to say except for the right things. What I was trying to do is I was trying to convince them to take a logo from me. If I would have done that now, then I would have thought to myself like, okay, how can I give my parents value? My parents, they've had the company for 15 years. They have an established company. So that means that even with the logo that they had right now, they were still getting clients. There was no client who thought, oh my God, that logo sucks. And you know why? Because the company is giving the clients results. Let me give it to you raw. When I started to work at that graphic design job, he said to me, he didn't only need graphic design, he also needed a marketer. Now, the only thing I knew about marketing back then was me doing YouTube, making gaming videos. That's the only thing. But I told him and I said, look, if you need somebody who does marketing, I will learn marketing. And when I started, I had a very, very, very basic knowledge about marketing. It took me literally a year, and I dare to confidently call myself a professional marketer at this very moment. Let me tell you something. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but the only time that it's gonna matter is the moment that it turns into wisdom. Now, how does it turn into wisdom? You have to do it. If you watch this video right now, there is only one way that you can make sure that what I'm teaching you is going to be wisdom to you, and that is if you're going to do it. I learned marketing by doing it. I learned it so extremely fast by doing it. I threw myself into the deep waters, and it was a test. Am I gonna drown, or will I prevail and swim back the fuck up? And that's what I did. Let me give you another story. In my time at that company, there were marketers who went to school for 4 years. You know what's funny? Me putting in the effort, going after the knowledge instead of thinking that school is gonna teach me everything, I was teaching them about marketing. You can have skills, you can have mastery in whatever profession, but if you are not the person, you're not going to be able to put those skills to the test. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are a professional plumber, but if you sit on the goddamn couch all day, then who's going to do the plumbing? Well, there's going to be other people who are getting off their asses to do it, but they will beat you every time. They are that person because they have developed that discipline. Most people that are watching this video, if somebody comes over to you right now and says, I make 5K a month, you're gonna be like, damn, that's a lot of money. But if you think about it logically, that ain't shit. We've been taught that 5K is a lot. If you look at school, we are literally taught to become employers. And everybody else being employed are fulfilling someone else's dream. You think you're living your dream, but that's because you've been taught that way. The first thing you think if you want to make money is, I have to go to school. I need a diploma. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't need a diploma. If this video gave you one shift in how you think about graphic design, imagine what's coming next. Hit subscribe because I'm just getting started, and hit that like button if you're done being underpaid. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to download the brand identity presentation template in the description. It's not just a download, it's literally the first step to you being seen as the professional that you are. This is Marcus Brantley, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to figure out why graphic designers stay broke, you definitely have to watch this video right here.